Welcome to NWA Cane Corsos Podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
And you ride through all their waves. I'm jealous of your coworkers all day, cause they get to pick your brain. And I know this might sound strange, but don't mention none of your exes, erase that list. Cause in my mind I gotta pretend that they just don't exist. Ain't no my fault, you're so fine. Please tell me, babe, can I just give all of your time? I'm selfish cause you're supposed to be all mine. So don't let the wind fade. No, don't let nothing take my place.
I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'ma show them all they're wrong, because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me.
Yes, sir. What's going on, family? Pile on in. Salute to the family. Come on in. I know everybody's getting off work. Long time no see. Lots of pre-record. Tap in. Come on, y'all. Let's get in here.
I'm jealous of your coworkers.
What's up, Instagram?
Cause they get to pick your brain.
What's happening, Instagram? I see in there trash. H10. Coleman Alley. FTE Camp. Gentle Kilderson. Self-made man. Street sweeper. Money Ben Arthur. Y'all come on in here. What's up, YouTube? 416, what's happening, brother? What's happening? Good to see you as always. Jimmy Machado, what's happening? Italian Buchanan, what's happening? Persia, American Bulldog, what's happening? Knives and Pins, welcome to the show. I'm ready like a Freddy. That is wide open tonight, wide open. Being you. Want y'all talk back to me. Talk back or talk black. Either of the two. Talk back or talk black to me. I'm ready, y'all. Salute to the family. Well, we're getting ready to get into the hump day. Welcome everybody back to the NWA Cane Corsos show, where we talk absolutely everything about dogs, on top of dogs, under the feet of dogs. Damn, I got something came in. I don't know what this is. I just looked at it and said, damn, okay. What did I buy? If you've never been here before, this is somewhat of a safe place. It can be a safe place for everybody. Everybody has an opinion. That's kind of what this show about. A little bit, and people express it here. All walks of life. This one of them places we don't give a damn about none of that other stuff. But right here is about the dogs. And then a lot of it is around the human too. The human aspect of the dog. Salute to everybody. I want to thank everybody for the support. We're a very small channel, but we probably the number one podcast when it comes to interviewing in the world. You know what I mean? You only need 300. You only need 300 soldiers. And I think that's what we got, you know what I'm saying? So, anybody else come in, I need to shout out. All right, what's on the subject? What's on the menu today, guys? I kind of missed the lives. Been kind of slowing down on the lives. I've been doing a lot of pre-record. They have been fun. More of an intimate setting with the guests. And I can really get my questions off. A lot of the lives I be working. Try to get everybody questions thinking, try to deal with the guests. So and I enjoy the lives, don't get me wrong. But those pre-records I can really get down and dirty without the distraction of people thinking I better answer their questions right there. So Crockett, what's happening? What's happening, Crockett? Yes, man. I'm glad to be here today, man. We hadn't did this in a while. We've been knocking out shows pretty. I was thinking I was gonna slow down a little bit, but I picked up. Usually slows down when the heat comes, but it ain't all the way hot yet. But yeah, man, welcome everybody back and all that good stuff. I was looking for a lot of newcomers today. One of the subjects I want to tap in on is don't get me wrong on this. I have a tremendous channel with a lot of older, wiser, experienced people, and we appreciate them because our podcast wouldn't be anything without that. And I'm not directing any of this to the people on my channel or like the people on my channel, but I've been hearing a lot of stuff, man. People are having a hard time now. Just kind of doing what they do. They might be a little bit newer to dogs, new breeders, new trainers. They catching hell, like minding their own business, and I kind of see it. And the guys that's never done anything before that can raise up their platforms real fast, they don't say shit to them. Like, what's going on? So I don't know who this is, 2-5, but we'll get that in a minute. So it's kind of backwards. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. The ones who's actually violating, we ain't putting no pressure on them, but people that's kind of just doing their own thing, we putting all the pressure on them. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is backwards. What do y'all think, chat? Y'all talk to me. Where Facebook at? I can't see Facebook. But if you want me to see anything you say, come to Instagram or YouTube. Yeah, so I think it was kind of ass backwards. And I noticed that the sensitivity level the last few weeks been picking up. And it might be the climate of our country and all that stuff, but I find it weird, man. Like two people dialoguing, all hell break loose, or nitpicking and all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? Are we too soft now as a culture? What's going on, man? I had a couple weeks. I had a guy on a couple weeks ago. A guy go on a podcast about a podcast I did. He gonna teach me Black history, and the two dudes he was podcasting with probably laughing their ass out. You gonna tell Joe he better retract something about something that was said about you didn't like? I know they was laughing because they know too much. I said, I know they was laughing at this dude when he said some crazy stuff. Go give us a Black history lesson on who created the first dog breed. And then what the funny thing about it is, he don't know. He don't know. And what's gonna really make him mad, the person who's on track to doing it all the way legitimately by a respected registry is Percy of North American Masters. Now take that and put it right up there, boy. Yeah, come on there talking crazy, man. Don't give me a Black history lesson, man. Oh, man, come on, bro. Yeah, so some of these people are laughable, man. Yeah. So let me get some of these comments. Shout out to Miss Sharon Blakely McDonald for letting us post on her Facebook page. That is the truth. She is one of the only few pages I might post in another page beside my own, but she's the only page I will ever post there because I like what she stands on. I know what her true intentions are, and that's what the space is for. That's why so many heavy hitters in there. It's a small group, but it's all heavy hitters in there. A lot of people don't even know about the group. But yeah, somebody post the name of that group, Jimmy, and I'll highlight it. Yeah. Inquisitive Dan Peace, just here to sit back and listen. Yes. Y'all welcome to chime in. I'm going to put the link up too. Pre-record's great because we can't interrupt the flow. Yeah, that's right, man. Man, them pre-record. Yeah, I could it's just me and them. But the lives are fire too now. But it's the right lives. So I strategically put together really big lives now. I don't even get on unless this is just gonna be a really tremendous podcast. I don't get on. Are they schooled veterans on being on live? You know what I mean? Because you could say something there on accident, and it's there forever because somebody's gonna record it and whatnot. Sometimes we slip up. We talk too much. I know I do. Pre-record all good. Yeah. Shout out. So yeah. If you guys, especially into the training world, which is another topic we can get into, the training world. That's a great group if you're learning and everything, and it's a lot of people learning that come to this podcast. I mean, young and old, and some people just come to sharpen. Some people come to add in their toolbox. Some people come to just to pick off whatever they hear that may be wrong. I mean, it can be a tremendous show, but if it's one thing they don't agree with, so you got all kind of people that looks at this stuff, but it's still a look, it's still a view, and there's still activity. I mean, because like some of it I can understand with a lot of the veterans, they do things certain way, get their results certain ways, and they probably can see a lot of mistakes of things why if you took a dog this way or that way, and they'll say something then, but sometimes I see them nitpicking each other that's been in the game a long time. The trainers are funny, boy. Hecker, where you at? Why Hecker? Somebody tag Hecker, boy. Hecker, boy. Ooh. Hecker gets so much engagement. He's gonna be huge. He's gonna be really, really, really huge. Oh, there you go. Pack match. Wait, hey, let me. I don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna drop the link. I will see. God damn, Hecker. Okay, hello. Shit, man. I ain't been on here so long, brothers and sisters. I don't even know. Oh, here. No, don't do that one. We're gonna do this right here. Share screen. No, invite guest. Somebody texted me about a dog right now. All right. He said give him 10 minutes. What's up, Cane Corso enthusiast? Jimmy Machado. You can hop on, Jimmy. I ain't never talked to you, Jimmy. I'll be seeing you all in the comments. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna wait on Hecker, but yeah, man, we gotta show a little bit of. I think it's just the climate of America right now. Everybody tends gas is high because I'm like, people are nitpicking the smallest bullshit. You know what I mean? And they really hard on the newcomers. I'm like, I'm sitting back looking. I'm like, what's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? Are we getting too soft? Somebody talk to me. What are y'all talking about over here on Instagram? Talk back to me. Yeah. Ferocious K9, Street Sweeper, Tavis, Fire Design Kennels, Miss Laree Hanson. Hello, young lady. How are you doing? I wish you would really come on the show, Miss Laree. She's a pit bull lady and a hell of a trainer. Please come to the NWA Cane Corso, young lady. All right. Well, so as we waiting on Hecker, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all feel like, and I know it's certain individuals just like that, like kind of, I hate to use that word gatekeep, but because gatekeeping can be necessary in some instances of things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to hold on to it for somebody to run off with it. But I just don't get some of what I'm seeing of people being, I know a young lady, people saying stuff. I even had a buddy. I said, man, go over there and look and see. Because, I'm busy. So I don't watch any TV now. And pretty much right now I'm so busy. I only watch what you guys send me. And that's part of my success. I don't watch no other stuff. I just even with the guests. If I got a week out with the guests, I started studying the guests. You know what I mean? So, but I had a buddy. I said, man, you see this woman doing anything? He said, no, she just over there trailing her. And people keep, coming to me about it. I'm like, and I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Do we need to turn? Do we need to unfollow stuff we don't like? Is it just the climate of this and that, or is it generational disconnect? I know that could be some of it, but I know that ain't all of it. You know what I mean? But the guys who come fly by, never had a litter, never left the backyard training, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 followers. Nobody says anything. It's a trip. It's a trip. I mean, even with the podcast, like a lot of podcasts are commentating other podcasts. They do more talking about what other people doing than the dogs. We're in really weird times. It's really. All right, what we got here? Between the trainers and breeders, there's enough drama to start a 6-season show. God dog it. Yeah. But now everything ain't always negative, because some of that commentary, some trainers are level-headed, and some are they got their thing popping. I'm a big fan of Oscar, a big fan of some of these dudes that's really, really out there, that they don't let anything bother, and they know and they're confident in what they're doing. But then too, it's good that we got guys like that got clubs and different things that popping, and they're on social media. That back and forth stuff sometimes is the time to learn, because you can see them, especially when they're not disrespectful. Not I don't get into all that. I mean, sometimes you might see me go crushing in on somebody, but really, for me to start going in on people that really don't work for what I'm doing, because I'm more of an interview platform, and I have to. You want me to stop the middle of the interview and start talking about somebody, and then most of these guys that online, I learned something about them. All that stuff be capped. It be capped, man. All that tough talk, it be capped. So the best thing to do is not even feed in it, because I know I've been on here too long. They want to bait you in to say something, and they will call the police on you. Trust me, I know. You say something on these internet dudes, and you'll get a call from the police department. What did you say to him? I ain't say nothing. I told him I love him, keep up the good work. So I don't even gauge, because they gonna get on their junior deputy stuff. So you know what I mean. And I love law enforcement and everything they do, but one thing I hate is a junior deputy. One thing I still hate to this day is a snitch, a tattletale, especially for no reason. People not doing anything to you, but you go on tattling for, man, get out of here. So, not even gonna lie, I caught hell as a newcomer when I first got into the breed, and caught myself acting the same way. A good friend checked me on it. I'm grateful for that. Build people up. Well, this is the thing, man. You got to be strategic as an. Oh, let's talk about this. I want to hear y'all opinion on this. Now, let me turn this music. I'll turn the music off when Hecker's on. I like to kind of vibe out. So, how do we recognize a newcomer that is trying to teach, trying to be all in the front, trying to act like they're the leader, which I've seen this now, versus a person who's just enthusiastic? Or is it a thin line in between both? Y'all talk to me. Y'all talk to me. How can you tell if it's enthusiasm or what's another word for it? Or just trying to get clout? Talk to me. Shout out Valley Bread. Valley Bread, he been nice to me lately. What's up? What changed your mind on me, bro? You ain't cussed me out this week. See Neil, remain humble. I know I'm torturing you guys' name. Exterior, I know who that is. Reddy, Hans, Tuna Boy, y'all got some hell of a names in this battalion. Cane Corsos, what's happening? Ziploc 369. Scary Cats, what's happening? Blue Ball, Scary Cats, I got the link open, bro. If you want to meet me, I hadn't met you. I've been busy too. I know I've been. What we got here? There go Brandon. Bam, what's up, brother?
Good brother. What's the word, man?
And I'm just in it to win it. They've been working me like a young Hebrew, so
yeah.
It's been hard, man. What's good with you?
Get it while it's hot, man. You know, I'm just hustling and bustling, shaking and baking, moving and grooving.
Okay.
Pissing people off.
Oh yeah, but hey, I was just saying, what? Woo! Those clips, them clips generate. You know what them clips do.
Mm-hmm.
Put them clips down, they get a lot of. It's right there.
For sure.
Yeah. And for everybody to think I'm making them up now, those are AI. The AI just pull them, they bust them full videos down, and they put it out. It ain't nothing I'm manipulating. It's just what the AI is doing.
You know?
Okay. But I tell you what, man, we should be hearing a lot of different opinions on stuff. Like that one clip today was about. Maybe I should play it to give them some context, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me just give me 1 second, bro.
Yep.
And I'll play it. But y'all was in there going back and forth in a good way, I think. Heck, but I hadn't read everything. But
yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything like outlandish or just totally disrespectful.
Right.
Even if it was, like I told you, man, I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
I'm working on myself, man. I get enjoyment out of trolling and doing the internet drama.
Right.
But I'm working on myself because I understand that most of the time people that don't have proper context, especially with how I respond to specific people that are some of my favorite trolls, I guess you can say, or favorite detractors.
Right.
They don't understand the relationship, right? So they come in and they see how I'm talking, and I understand from a marketing standpoint, it can turn those people off because they don't understand the dynamic. They don't understand that I'm not serious. They don't understand that I don't take these people serious. You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Let me go ahead. I'm still working on my shit over
here. Yeah. So, I'm working on myself. I relapse every so often.
Yeah.
But then I get back on track, you know what I mean? Then I relapse again. But every time I relapse, it takes a little bit longer, to relapse and go back to the fuckery.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I keep working on it.
Right. Well, yeah. So yeah, everybody have different responses to that type too, because you put yourself out there, so you're gonna get some of it. But
for sure,
you might lash out quite a bit. I was like, damn. Sometimes I'd be on the edge of my seat. I said, damn, I said, damn, Hecker just done custom and crushed them. And then mine is a little bit more passive. I'm waiting about the third or fourth one, and it might not be fair to them, but then I mangle them because it builds up in me too. But I was saying earlier, a lot of times I don't even have time to respond. And most times people don't target me unless it's somebody in the same genre or something,
Mm-hmm.
But so, like yourself. So
yeah, which I don't understand what people. I'm still trying to understand what people will have to even say anything negative about you. Like, I understand why they talk negative about me. I have no clue of what they could say negative about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
I mean, I can say, I mean, heck, I'm not a well like dude. I mean, because like, I mean, I'm liked, but the people who don't like me, it really don't matter because it's usually in the same kind of genre or something. You know, it's always in a competitive spirit. But you know, I ain't no pushover. That's the problem. I was telling somebody the other day, most of my beefs come from even in my personal life, always coming up. It wasn't because something I did. It was always for something I wouldn't do.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I get that type heat. Okay. Can you see my screen, bro?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. What damn? I thought I just had your shit right here. Well, damn, and I don't want to play, bro. Let me see what's going on. Oh, here it is.
Right? I don't train 8-week-old puppies to bite, which is why a lot of people, again, use all these different levels of sleeves, because from the time the puppy is goddamn coming out the womb till it die, is biting something. I don't need a puppy sleeve for puppy teeth because I just let puppies be puppies. And when they reach a certain age of maturity, that's when the training starts, not the bite work. That's when the training starts, right? That leads to something Wayne said in the video. A lot of these dogs are just biting. They're not even barking. So if we're talking about protection work, right? And this is where Gypsy comes in. This is why I'm so glad I have that foundation, right?
Threat display.
Alarm, challenge, threat display, engage. We call it the 4 pillars of defense, right? In order to protect, if you look at the animal kingdom, before they bite anything, they alarm everybody else that something is wrong. But these dogs are going straight to biting. What kind of protection work is that? I also don't train puppies, right? I don't train 8-week-old puppies to bite.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of them clips that got it jumping. Man, I know
got a lot of people in their feelings.
Yeah, because that's why I titled the show "Different Paths, Same Podium." Do you believe it's more than one way to skin a cat?
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Okay,
no doubt about it. That's the difference between me and the people that typically are in opposition to me, right? I know that there's multiple different styles of training, right? I've never come off as if my style was the only style and the best style, right? Never, ever. You won't find any content of me saying that about how I train dogs, right? But for some reason, you know, the other side of the coin or the other side of the fence, the opposition, you know, I'm going to say, they have this God complex as if their way is the only way, right? Not realizing that there was a way to train dogs before they even started training dogs how they train dogs now, right? So that's when it gets a little weird to me. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, motherfucker, do you realize that people was training dogs before you started training dogs how you train dogs now? People was training dogs before then. So that's when it gets a little weird to me. You know what I'm saying? They come off as if their way has always been the only way. And if you do anything else, you're a terrible trainer. You don't know what you're talking about. Nah, I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about because you've never seen what I've done before because you've only trained one way your entire life in training dogs. So I don't even expect you to know what I'm doing because you've never seen it before. You don't even know about it.
Right. And with different dogs, I heard a lot of trainers say sometimes I might have to pull a different method on this dog. And that's another way of kind of you know, saying that it's more than one way. It was something I was gonna ask you. but I'll make this statement and I'll let you go from there.
Mhm.
Even with Embark, I'm seeing articles and stuff now saying that shit ain't accurate. You send a test, you send a test out, and I don't really use nothing but for health. That's it.
Right.
But they say you send a test out to 3 or 4 different companies, you're getting 3-4 different results now, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, a lot of older trainers, they won't tell me, not trainers, but dog breeders, or trainers, they would tell me, man, that shit ain't accurate. They've been telling me that for years. So I did this, I did that, I did this and did that. They can't say it in public no more because they'll be shown. How dare you say anything about Embark, Wisdom Panel, and all this? But now it's showing. But they always told me, man, we was breeding dogs, and we knew if they knew if something was wrong. They could tell.
They knew
dog wasn't right.
Right.
And everybody agrees that the dogs were stronger back then.
Yep. We got all this technology and the dogs are weaker.
Right. And even all this scientific talk. Schoolboy told me something a long time ago, and it always will stick with me. He told me this off the screen. He said, Joe, before the science was the man. The man is the science. I like make a bunch of sense. But yeah. So, but let me ask you this, man. So how long you been training total years?
So I mean, really, man, if I include just from a young kid training my own dogs, I mean, I've been training dogs all my life. You know, like I've literally had dogs all my life. But if you're talking about professionally, you know, the last 5-6 years where I really took it serious, you know, like actually taking money from people, having clients, right? Like the last 5-6 years.
Okay. So I didn't see this, but Doug was telling me earlier that you got a dog and you're going to go into sports with it.
Yeah. I just got a black Malinois. So you know, my goal with that is to really experiment. You know what I mean? I want to try. I want to mix in my style, old school style of training, right? Mix some of that in. Obviously, add in some of the, you know, what I'm going to call new school prey base, because of the dog, right? I have to consider the dog, right? I have to consider the genetics of the dog. So I know I have a high prey drive dog, right? So I'm not going to try to change the genetics. I'm going to work with the genetics of the dog. So, you know, my goal is really to experiment because, as you know, I've never done sport. You know, a lot of people think I hate sport, and I don't. I actually am in admiration of a lot of people that do sport, right? Because I understand the dedication, the commitment, the discipline that it takes to succeed at high levels, you know, in sport. The problem that I have with sport is there's no money in it. So it's hard for me to really take it serious. So that's where it gets a little difficult for me to really, you know, dedicate to do anything serious in the sport world of things. So my goal with this particular dog is to train it up and then start going to some of these competitions. Not really to win, just to see what my dog will do based off how I train it. That's all I really want.
Okay. So this is gonna be a good one for you, brother. Now don't cuss me out for asking you this now. Hey, y'all, hey, I'm ready for Gary to cuss me out. But look, okay, so you're gonna do, first off, which one do you think, from just looking and what you know now, which one is going to be the tougher task or the hardest, the sport or personal protection?
Just from the standpoint of the consistency that I'm going to have to maintain for the obedience part of it, right? Because I know with that obedience, man, it's a, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have, you know, super clean showmanship in the obedience. And that's another thing that I'm kind of adding in the caveat too. You know, a lot of those guys, they do a lot of luring and, you know, treat-based training. I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to do it?
I'm not going to do it. Now, so let me correct it.
Okay.
I am going to do it, but I'm not going to use any high value treats. So I'm not using hot dogs. I'm not using, pepperonis or anything like that. Right. I'm going to use his food. That's
Right.
it.
Well, he just
So
got to be. What you going to motivation is going to be more probably hunger though, right?
yeah, I guess you can say that. Yeah, I mean that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. So deprivation, I guess you can call it. I'm
Right.
not starving the dog. The dog's just going to work for his food that I got to feed him anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. So what I was going to ask is, before that is, dang it, I forget, man. But it why is it when we see you say something?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anybody's wrong because a lot of us are observing and peeping and people in the comments like, oh yeah, I agree with him and blah blah. And then somebody say, no, listen, that I should pour some of the comments up.
Mhm.
Why is it when on some of your shorts or whatnot, you get a lot of engagement, barking.
Yeah.
So you was talking about the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? What else was it? The four.
Yeah, the 4 pillars of defense. Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
the alarm, challenge, threat, display, engage. That's something that Gypsy, I would have to say he should get the credit for that. That's his thing. And I believe in it 1000%. And the reason why is because it goes with the laws of nature, right? It doesn't go with the laws of prey-based training, right?
Right.
It goes with the laws of nature. You can look at any National Geographic, where you look at any animal, really. It doesn't even have to be a predatory animal. It can be any animal. You can look at freaking prairie dogs, right? They have actually every, like, I don't, obviously I don't know how they do their shifts, but if you look at the shows, you'll see prairie dogs have shifts, right? They have watch dogs, so to speak, to where they are the ones that are responsible to where when they see danger, they alert the rest of everybody else to go down in the hole. Now they run, of course, because they're prey animals, right? But when you talk about like a lion or a wolf or, any predatory type animals like that, right?
Right.
When they get the scent of another pack or another wolf that's not a part of their pack, right? They go patrol their borders to make sure that no strangers are encroaching upon their territory. That's defense. That's not prey, right? But the first thing they do, right, is alarm the rest of the pack of what's going on, right? It might be a howl. Wolves don't bark, so they howl.
Right.
You see what I mean? So, when you start looking at nature, right? I follow nature. I don't follow man. You get what I'm saying? Right. God made rules for a reason. The problem is humans play God and God is God. So I'm always going to look at what God did first.
Right. Right. And I understand that. But when I see some guys say, well, all that barking and just talking shit, is it some trainers or do you consider them sports trainers or police canine that say, I ain't going to be doing no talking. I'm going to apprehend. I ain't saying nothing. I'm going to tear that ass up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is that acceptable to you think it'll be acceptable whatever kind of dog you creating?
I believe that people that talk like that are slightly mentally imbalanced. I understand the sentiment of not waiting for somebody to cause harm to you.
Right.
But I also, being a professional trainer, right, whether people agree with that or not, I am a professional trainer. I get paid for my services. I have been certified. Whether you respect the certifying board or not, doesn't matter to me, right? I have clients and I have people that consistently come back. So you see what I'm saying? So that makes me a professional.
Right.
So, if I am being a professionally responsible protection trainer, my number one duty is to train based on what the law allows people to do with their dog. Now, how can I say this without saying it? Survive. You feel what I'm saying? Do what you got to do to live, right? But the content that I put out is going to be based on what the law tells me I am allowed to tell you what to do with your dog. Point blank, period. I'm not going to tell anybody to do anything outside of that. Not on camera.
Yeah, good point.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Doug says Brandon is the master agitator of content. Do you know? Are you pretty much used to know? Are you pretty much used to it now? Like, man, I know if I'm about to say anything, it's gonna cause a firestorm.
For the most part. For the most part.
Crazy though. I know it helped your growth.
Yeah, I mean it does. It does. And a part of it is intentional, right? Because again, it's social media. So I play the social media game. I think I told you. My goal, really, if I'm being honest with people, my goal is to be more of a content creator than a dog trainer. And I don't mean that in the sense of I'm not always trying to sharpen my skill of dog training, right? But to be quite honest with you, my goal is not to have a whole bunch of clients that I have to take care of their dogs, board their dogs, train their dogs every day, and then try to get their lazy asses to do what they're supposed to do after the fact, right? Which is what a lot of trainers do. I also, and again, this is just me. I don't want anybody to take this personal. This is just me and how I think about how I can scale my dog training business, right? Because if we're looking at the traditional way of dog training, in order to scale your business, you have to get other trainers, right? Which means you have to get more space to board dogs, which means you have to get a big old expensive facility, right? And then everything else that comes along with that. I don't want to do that. That to me is a cyclical, it's a cycle of death to me because you're constantly looking for new dogs, right? Then if you're a traveling trainer, then you have to consider, okay, the time it takes to get to this client. How much am I going to charge per hour to travel to this person to do 30 minutes of work, right? Especially if we're talking about protection training. Ain't nobody really doing no protection training for no goddamn hour, right? No, like nobody is doing that, right? So you're really at best talking about 30 minutes of work. Right. So to me, logistically, it doesn't make sense to build a book of business to where I got to travel an hour here to do 30 minutes of work, travel an hour over there to do another 30 minutes of work. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Again, that's me having to physically do the work in order to maintain my lifestyle. I don't want to fall in that trap. I've seen too many old trainers do it. And if I'm being honest, my mentor was one of them.
I was in my head, I was thinking that.
I'm just being honest. As much as I love him and respect him, I see too many old school trainers that are still in that trap. And I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. So, because social media is a thing, and I see people like Cesar Millan, whether it really doesn't matter how you feel about Cesar Millan and his training style, right? What I see him do is travel the world and do seminars and talk about dog training. So he's still training dogs. He may even take a dog that he's training for someone on the road with him and use that dog as a prop to demonstrate to the people what he's doing, right? So for me, that's my goal, right? Because that's something I can do the rest of my life and it doesn't take a physical toll on me. Because I love talking about training. I love teaching, right? That's what I love to do. I love giving information. That's what I love to do. So because we are in the information nation, right?
And ain't nothing we can do about it. I don't care how much they complain about the internet. You got to do it.
It ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So instead of me fighting it, I'm going to use it to my advantage. Whereas most of these guys are still trying to hold on to the old ways, right? And they're fighting it. They're still trying to keep the old guard. They're trying to keep everything a secret, right? Nothing's a secret no more. If you don't know, nothing's a secret. Everything is accessible through this phone.
Yeah, that's true, Hecka. But some of the older ones, and Gypsy was smart too because he jumped online and he talked. But some of them gonna put you behind that paywall,
and that's fine too.
Yes, that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Trainer, and you're an older guy that's been doing it a while. Get behind that paywall because you're scared. Sure. You don't want to put your information out, but you say everybody's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So tell it, I'll teach it, and get paid for it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've thought about the Patreons and stuff like that. But again, I'm gonna be honest, man. If I'm thinking long term, and I still may do it, because if I can do it and people are willing to pay for it, then I'm gonna do it, right? But my personal thing that I would like to do, I want to travel the world and train dogs. That's what I want to do. I want to travel the world and talk to people about helping them train their own dogs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you something too. And then some people the pet owners. You see these people like Raising Bane, Jason Corey. These massive platforms. They ain't doing nothing wrong with anybody. But look what they have done and build themselves just in their lane.
Absolutely.
Rolling with their pet.
Absolutely.
Baymax, Pam Baymax. I told her a few times, I said, man, I met her through this podcast, right? And she was looking for a dog and different things, and she asked me a couple questions. And now she's sitting right next to Tony. She's sitting next to me. Or a lot of the top trainers. And I think she's kind of a misunderstood lady because, she's just a small little white, blue-eyed lady, real nice and stuff. But people don't know she's from the hood. She's from Detroit. Me and Tony, and guys like us, they might consider us a little bit of roughnecks. She knows that. You know what I mean? But I tell her all the time, like, you'll surpass me in numbers by far.
Yeah.
Because that's what people want. People want things they can relate to. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Now, you go back and forth with them trainers. But it's something special you got. That's why you have the trainers coming at you. Then you have the common man. I agree with him. You say what makes sense to them.
Yeah.
You talk about the type of dog. Oh, I make a handle the type of dog. This type of dog I want.
Yeah.
You say stuff, I don't want to get sued for a dog bite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the stuff, people that may be some of your detractors, they not looking and listening. See, I look at everything. I'm looking because I'm kind of like, I'm like the commentator, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the whole game. I'm looking at this game. I talk to people from all different angles, but that's where the people get their value from you, and then that's how they relate to you because you talk to them.
I talk to them because I am them.
That's right. We are them.
Like that's who I am at heart, right? So it's easy for me to relate to them because that's who I am. Whereas a lot of these guys, they forgot, in my opinion, right? It's almost like the get money syndrome. You know how they say when people get money, they change? These people get these high performing dogs and they forget about the little people. They forget about the people that really need the help. The vulnerable, the church lady, right? They forget about those people. Everything becomes about the dog.
Right.
Everything becomes that they start thinking like fucking dogs and they don't think like humans no more.
Yeah.
So I just stay on the human side of things. You see what I mean? So I talk to those people because that's where I came from. That's where I get the most enjoyment out of, right?
And that's the type of people you help every day.
That's who I help every single day.
Exactly. So like the training questions, like that's gonna hype me and dudes like Doug and the rest of the chat up. But then when I put my other eye on, I said, this is why they relating to what a lot of stuff he's saying, because he talking to them. Let me see here. Let me get some of these comments. Oh my God. Kathleen Wellner's in the house. Hey, I nicknamed her Kathleen the Whirlwind Wellner. For the Cane Corsos community, you know her pretty good. Miss Kathleen, I tried to put that show together. That lady you wanted me to put on, she ain't emailed me back. Maybe you can contact her and tell her you're my auntie. She go get that joke. All right, let me see. Okay, she says Eka. She said, I guess she said, just for both of us, I'll answer it my way. Hi, Joe. What are your thoughts on boarding and trading instead of walking your clients through the process and teaching both dog and owner together? I'd be like, man, I wish I could send this dog off because sometimes I get a little busy. But yeah, I think the best way is the owner and the dog gonna get the most value. Now, somebody gonna say one of the, shout out to all my guys who do that. I mean, it probably is good for a busy family that want a dog. Well, I know somebody gonna say, well, if they too busy, they don't need a dog. If they can't, nah, they don't work like that. If they need to board and train a dog, just go ahead and get the steps in, and they can come in as long as they get some good time in on actually knowing what to do. And with that dog, I think it could both work. Me personally, I'm gonna want it to be me. But then right now in this day and age, like Hecka was saying, it's so much information on just how to basically train a dog. Treat or no treat. So to give it manners, probably one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can go take off with that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, man, if people want other people to train their dog, they're just lazy. And I'm okay with that. If you have the ability to pay somebody else to do a service for you, we live in the world of, it's a capitalistic world. So I'm okay with that. I have nothing, I don't have anything negative, so to speak, to say about that, because there's things when I get enough money, I ain't doing no goddamn more. I'm paying somebody else to do it. You feel what I'm saying? So, but for me, right? My goal, if somebody wants me to train their dog, it's going to happen one of two ways. Either it's going to be a raise and train, which means you get the puppy, you give it to me, and it's going to be with me for at least 6 months. Which means I can put a hardcore imprint on that puppy to where I know even most people are not going to do it. Most people are not going to follow through like they're supposed to, but I know I put a good enough imprint on that puppy for it to last a considerable amount of time, and then obviously check in with that person, keep up with that person, right? But it's much easier to do that with 1 or 2 people a year than it is with 50 people a year, or 60 or 100 if you're doing 2-week board and train, 4-week board and train, 6-week board and train, which is the average of what people do.
Boy, that shit costly too, boy.
You see what I'm saying? So now don't get me wrong, right? If you are dead set on me training your dog, and because I really don't want to train your dog, you're going to pay me for my time. The information is free because I put it on the internet all the time.
Right.
You're paying me for my time.
Yeah, your time is everything. Like, yeah. I've been going through so much the last few weeks. I got hired back, put in a new position. So yeah, time is money. And then you get in my age, you're back. Let me do this. Top Dog K9, John Mims, come in. I want to hear your perspective. I want to ask you some questions. You've been around a long time. I know you got a lot of knowledge. Let's see if we can get John Mims in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can get the young man in here. But yeah, time is money, man. Like at my age, when I look at jobs, I look at pensions, I look at insurance. They're going how I'm gonna get the highest amount of money in the next 12 years. It's to protect time is, valuable. A man who's not concerned about time. Yeah, I wouldn't understand that.
Yeah, man. You don't get it back.
Yeah.
Like you don't get time is like I'm, I've always, not always, in my responsible adult years. It's funny, I tell my wife this all the time, man. One of the biggest things that I have anxiety about is I just feel like I never got enough time. You know what I'm saying? Like I really have an anxiety about that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to consistently work on myself and not, spaz out because I just feel like I ain't got no time to do nothing.
Hey, John, turn your TV down.
And not,
hey,
spaz out because I just feel like I ain't got no time to do nothing. Hey, John, turn your TV down. Spaz out.
All right, I got it.
Well, I'm glad to see you tuning in. I think you got a delay.
I can't hear nothing now.
Oh, shoot.
I'm gonna kick him out. Come back in. I'm gonna kick him out.
I took all the stuff out my book bag. I think it's one over there.
Yeah.
My bad, man. I'm trying to get the charger for my phone.
Do your thing, bro. We good. This hey, they used to us. We got family, everybody getting off work and everything. Dog breeders, dog trainers work too.
Is that the one that fixes?
Let's see. Let me read some of these comments. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Kathleen says, I would never send a dog off with a trainer. Okay, let's see here. Okay, John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, all right. So this is Mr. Y'all know who this is. This is Top Dog K9, Mr. John Mims. I get a lot of knowledge from this man. And most time when I got a question about a dog, I'm calling him. so John, you've been around a long time and different things. And I don't know if you caught the beginning, but the name of the show is Different Paths, Same Podium. So could you talk about how it's more than one way? And is there wrong ways that can mess your dog up that you see people may do and you might want to say something, but you be like, what's your thoughts like on all this?
Well, recently, the last few years, I've had to kind of teach myself to check myself because you're right. There are more than 50 ways to get to the mall. Or when we're training dogs, there are more ways to accomplish the end goal. And the only problem that some people see is if you're saying, well, I'm training a protection dog and I'm watching a video and you can tell that the groundwork that's being prepared for this dog to be a protection dog has some flaws in it. And you may want to call it out, or you may want to call a person and point that out to them, that might not work so well for you in the end. But I've learned and had to teach myself to hold back and just let it develop and let the scenario play out and see how it ends at the end of it. But it's hard sometimes to look at some stuff that some people do. Hell, it's hard for people to look at what I do because they don't understand it. They haven't been in it long enough to see and say, well, and they don't have enough self-discipline to say, whoa, let me just watch this game play out and see how this goes. The ultimate compliment I've gotten over the last few years and over my whole training career was by P. Don Mega. He said he watched one of my videos I had up a few years ago. I was doing some training with a couple of dogs. I named those dogs by alphabets. And he said when he started watching the videos, he was like, there's no way this shit is going to work. It's just not going to work. But it intrigued him enough to just watch the system, watch it play out. And he said by the third video, the shit worked. And it worked exactly how you said it was going to work. And did it work out in the end for the dog? Yeah, because the dog winds up going to a department doing scent work. one out of those 3 dogs. So he said, and that's what sold him on what I do. And that was, I think, the ultimate compliment coming from a guy like that. A lot of the young guys that's coming into training now, they're so disrespectful. Even some of the older guys, you would think the guys that been training supposedly so many years would have enough knowledge now to just check themselves and not be so intimidated by what they see other people do and frightened about it. And just sit back and let it play out, because they don't know. I watch a lot of Brandon videos, Mr. Heckler's videos, and sometimes I'm like, but let me just sit back and see how this plays out. You know, I watch a lot of Justin Rigney videos, and I'm like, nah, I don't agree with much of nothing that he says, but I sit back and I watch it play out just to see how the dog develops or whatever. Because I don't know all of Brandon's training skills, his repertoire, what he has in his training suitcase. I don't know everything, what he has. But what he does have, do I agree with all of it? No. Some of it I agree with. Some of it I say, well, and he may feel the same way about me, but I'm willing and learn enough to sit back and say, let's watch this develop and see how it goes. Because without looking at the dog and putting my eyes on it and just seeing it on TV, I don't know where that dog is, where he started, what the dog has behind him, or anything. Brandon's there. He's looking at it. He's training that dog to the best that he sees that fits that particular dog that's in front of him. I've been saying this for many, many years. You train the dog that's in front of you, not the pedigree, not the mom, the dad, the brother, the sisters. You train what's in front of you, and you train that dog to what you know how to do. And I think in the last few years, like I said, with some of these guys, they just don't have enough self-discipline to sit back and watch it happen. And it's kind of hard sometimes to see some other trainers. I've seen some trainers that's been training 20 years, 15 years. And you can just tell, man, if you train a protection dog, a personal protection dog, that particular thing you're doing right there is going to come back and bite you in the ass. Just the way I see a lot of it, you know. And it's hard not to say nothing sometimes. And I have to catch myself. And it's hard to impress me. I've been training so long, it ain't much I haven't seen.
Right. Especially on the police canine side, you done did a lot of work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, before I got to that stage, I did all the personal protection. I think a lot of people kind of get that confused. I don't show 90% of the videos that I do, just not for everybody to see. There's a reason surgeons don't let everybody in the surgery room, because they can't handle what they see. So you have to kind of learn to scale back and meter out what you put out. But I've done all of that stuff, from the obedience to protection work. I only competed in 2 events in my lifetime, and that was some of the worst shit I ever experienced in my life. I just know how those people are. Had a friend of mine that I met about 10 years ago. I just recently started back talking to him. And he told me, he said, John, I'm man enough to admit what you told me 10 years ago has came true to this day. It has come full circle. I'm not saying I know everything, but goddamn it, if they call in the roll and I'm in the classroom, it don't take long to call a roll.
Right.
You know, and that may go over some people's head. I just said, you know, but it is what it is, man. And if I don't know something, it's a handful of people that I can call. We can discuss, but we aren't too far off on our ideas. The people that I do call and put the trust in to even call them to ask them these things. And some people, they don't want to call and ask for help. Hey, man, what's your idea on this? Hey, man, I'm trying this and I may be a little shaky on it. You mind some helping me out with it, or what's your opinion on it? And you don't mind throwing it out when you can network with people. And that's, I think, what a lot of people don't do, because everybody don't want to check their ego at the door. Everybody want to come in swinging the big dick, you know, and it doesn't matter who it is. We're trying to get the dog to a better position and a better position when we're through training them. That's the ultimate goal. Putting the dog together that will serve the purpose, serve the family, or whoever it's going to. So why not network sometimes? Network is the only time where you can figure some problems out, when you're networking.
But I did that show with Wayne Singleton and Kari, the Boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of that show is that really surprised me is that they was kind of saying a lot of guys know how to catch dogs and stuff like that, but they don't know how to build dogs.
Mm-hmm.
When you've been around a long time, John, when did you see the decrease in knowledge? Because I know from you, Gus, Artilles, y'all used to travel, touch each other.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. You know what I mean? Y'all work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We live in the Diddy age. We gotta straighten some shit out. But,
that's right. Yeah.
But y'all used to work together. Y'all seen a lot of each other techniques. Do you think dog training was better then versus now?
I'll tell you what made it so much better to me back then, because it was for the love of it. It was the purity of it. Now it's so commercialized that that's what's hurting the business, because there's no standard set many places. Some states have no regulation on training. You don't have to be certified in some states to say you're a trainer. You can just go buy a storefront or rent a building, open a storefront, and put up the biggest sign in the world, say you're a dog trainer. And people will flock there because you got a big facility set up. Doesn't mean you know your ass from a hole in the ground. But a lot of people do. There's no regulation on it. Back then, it was for the love, the skill, the art of training a dog. I don't need an e-collar on a dog to teach a dog just the basic of things. Sit, stay down, recall. I don't need treats for that. I don't need an e-collar for that. I use this right here. This is how I was taught. The decoying problem has come in with these young guys over the last 20, 25 years. It's just the way the world goes, Joe, and it revolves around, and that sometimes that carousel turns slow. These guys are learning decoys, but they aren't learning the art of decoying. They're just getting in front of a dog and jumping around like a jumping bean, and they're not learning the art. When I started learning this stuff, you had to sit on the sideline and watch and learn, and these guys talk to you, and they tell you stuff, and they question you before they felt comfortable with you even holding a puppy sleeve, not let alone a bite suit, but a puppy sleeve. Because back then, when I was learning this stuff, if somebody had a bite suit, you was the man. They were few and far between.
Right.
If you had a bite suit, you were the man. You knew something. That to invest in a bite suit back then was a lot. To invest in an e-collar back then, I talked to a guy today. Pawnee told me his first e-collar cost him $1,000. Now you can get them on Amazon for $15.99, $12.99, $20. You can get an e-collar now. When they started making that stuff so readily available, that's where a bigger decline and that slide got slipperier when it comes to dog training. When we learn dog training as a people, and I'm talking, and I'll just be as honest as I could possibly be. When we young black men learn dog training, the very first thing we learn is how to make a dog bite and how to piss a dog off. It's the very first thing 99% of us learn. So training a dog to bite is easy. To me and to a lot of other people, that's easy. And I don't need a whip. I don't need all these extras to make a dog bite. That's not the art of dog training. The art of dog training is to know and learn what ticks this dog off, what makes him tick, what makes him pissed off, what gets him going, and then learning how to build on that. That's it. When I see guys with the whip and they popping the dog across the legs, they got the dog on the elevated table and they still pop them on the legs. So now you're doubling the pressure you're putting on the dog. You're doubling the dog in some stuff that's just not natural. Where's the art in that? That's no art. That's not skill to do that. So now is the dog mad with you, or the dog's mad because you got a whip in your hand? The dog mad because you're going to hurt him with that rock jug, or what? What's the dog? What's the problem? The dog's it's not with the man because you got the stick in your hand. Same thing, Joe. I think we talked about this the other day. You train a dog with a whip, and your son, Silas, who I met, nice little kid, my little nephew, I call him. Mm-hmm. And you train a dog with a whip, and you go, and the dog now has a complex about a whip or a stick or something that looks like a whip. And Silas goes outside, and the dogs see him. They don't know Silas now. They know that whip is something they don't like, and they got a big problem with that. And if some of these guys don't think that applies, they can go out and they can test it. Give a kid a stick and have him walk down the fence, let the dog see him and they got him on a back tie or whatever. And they see this kid walking down the street with a stick and see what happens. Yeah. That's not skill. That's not an art. I'm about the art of dog training. The building from the ground up, a lot of guys can't take it. Brandon, you mentioned that the other day about guys taking dogs from 8 to 9 or 7 to 9. Well, I've been using that scale like that for many years. It's very few people can take a dog from 1 to 10. They got to get them up here. They can't get them back here and then move it up here. So they got to get them up here. That's not skill. That's not an art to me. The art is going all the way. Now, if they want to be skilled and so art formed in this, then they should say that. I can only do this part. But there are a lot of people and they'll take their money and say they can do all of this and there's no way possible they can do it. I can just look at the training videos and tell that it's not going to happen. So that's how I look at that, Joe.
Right. Yeah. Boogeyman, I'm calling names because I ain't tripping. But Boogeyman told me something. He said I can look at a lot of what's going on because I know how to read dogs. I could tell on the screen what's going on because some of us know how to read dogs for so long. You know, that's an art.
That's an art within itself. Yeah, that's an art within itself.
Right.
Yeah. And it's some of us have refined that skill so much. Joe, I've had this happen. I've done to a lot of people, and it just is what it is. You can look at a dog. I've seen dogs, these guys, oh man, my dog will do this. And I say, really? And I'll go to the house and I'll just stand there and look at the dog for a second. And then I'll just open the gate and put the leash on him and take off walking with him down the street. And I said, this is the dog you just bragged on. But then there's some dogs I can look at and the dog looks at me and the dog is talking without talking. And I won't try that with that dog. Because I know that dog has told me, look, it ain't going to go the way you think it's going to go. But that takes time. That takes skill. That takes somebody teaching you certain things to learn. And then there's this one part that not a lot of people touch on, Joe. We're gifted. Certain trainers are gifted with that particular skill to know that. And a lot of people just don't have it. And that's our advantage over a lot of people in this industry, Joe. We got it. We got it.
Right.
As compared to some of the other ones. And I'm not saying that to be ugly or what it is, but it's just some things are just we are born with. And I'm glad I was gifted with it. And I practice my gift every day. We can look at some dogs we can look at and you can get a pretty good idea. But I won't say anything on that particular dog because I want to put my eyes on it rather than put my eyes on it on a TV screen or the phone and see it. That dog leg might twitch when he's doing it, when he's barking. He's barking, and it can be an aggressive bark in the face, but the rest of his body is telling you, I'm scared to goddamn death. Because his back legs are shaking, and it's not a strong shake. It's one of those shaking like, if you cut me off this leash, I'm going to take that side gate and I'm getting out of here.
I'm out of there. Yeah.
And that's what some people don't want to learn. They don't want to know it. They don't care to learn it because that's not what they're into. They want the quick fame to hit it and quit it, and that's it. They don't want to learn the art of dog training. This is an art. It's unlike anything else. Training the elephant is different. You need peanuts and shit to train the elephant. Dogs were domesticated to be by man's side and to work with man. And to me, I wasn't taught to train with treats. I wasn't taught to train with econ. Now, I'm not totally against those tools because there are some dogs you're going to need some help to equalize that fight if it comes to you. Because the lady that you train the dog for, she's 120 pounds and her dog is 120. She's outweighed 3 or 4 times just by the size of that dog compared to her size. So what do you equalize? Brandon, I think what you call it, the force multiplier. So I call it, you just need something to equalize it. So, and the e-collar or the prong collar may be the equalizer. So you use that I'm not against it, but before I try it, I'm going to try everything else that I got in my bag of tricks in order to get it.
Let me ask both of y'all this. Let's stay on e-collar for a minute, because I know, John, you've been around a long time, and yeah, you probably ain't gonna mind me saying this, but I'm gonna say it. Personally, we talked, and you said it was issues when e-collars became readily available, and you also said that COVID kind of changed training too. A lot of an influx of trainers who didn't go through the well, didn't go through the fire. Brandon, let me get your thoughts on e-collars and saturation or COVID. I hate to call them COVID trainers, COVID breeders, because everybody.
That's what they is. That's what they is. That's what they is.
Right.
COVID training. Shit, that's what it is.
If it's that, it's COVID YouTube channels too.
Yeah, that too. That too. COVID millionaires. Yes, COVID everything. COVID created. I think COVID was created in the lab.
Look what
it was created in the. It was created in the lab, trying to hurt people, but it actually created a lot of people's hidden talents, millionaires. It opened the door for a lot of things. But back to Brandon. Okay, Brandon, go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, before you go, Brandon, everybody, this is Bakari, Luca Bakari, out of Canada. Y'all see him in the comments. It's our little nephew. So what's happening, little bro?
I'm doing good. How about y'all? I don't wanna like interrupt. I don't want to interrupt. How about y'all?
Okay. All right, Brandon.
Yeah, give me the question one more time.
Your thoughts on e-collars use and the influx of trainers during COVID.
I live by a simple creed. Keep it simple, stupid. That's, when I look at a dog, I'm looking at how can I train this dog with the least amount of middleman as possible, right? So the middleman could be the e-collar, the middleman could be treats, the middleman could be a ball, it could be anything, right? Now, again, like Mims said, I'm not against using those things, right? But I do not depend on them at all, right? So for me, again, like I said earlier, man, I'll always go back to how did people train dogs before all of this convenience was created? That is literally how I think when it comes to dogs. Because the one thing that I always think about is I don't want nobody to be able to take it away from me, right? So we always in this argument or in this back and forth about banning e-collars, banning choke chains, banning pinch collars, right? So I'm always thinking in my mind, like, yo, like, I'd be damned if somebody tell me you can't use something, like we're taking it away from you, right? So I'm always approaching it like, well, what are the things that they're never going to take away? They're never going to take away a regular collar, a regular flat collar. They're never going to take that away. They're never going to take away a leash. So why don't I just stick to that? And that's how I look at it. But again, I'm not against using those modern tools, I guess you can say, but I for damn sure don't depend on them.
That's what's up. Let's see here. So, John, did you answer about the influx of trainers?
Yeah, this I think it comes from COVID, and then just people thinking that it's so much of they can get in and train, and if you're luring a dog into a sit, I think this what gives people and made people think that they're dog trainers. The e-collar gives people a false sense of accomplishing something. The treats, because they lure a dog into a sit, and that gives people a false sense that the guy, oh man, that guy can really train, but he's luring the dog to a sit. That's not a skilled form of training. That's I don't want to say it's a cheating form, but for some people they have to do it. But to me, and some of us old timers, and I know we have to evolve. Like I heard you say something about evolving earlier. There's some things you should evolve in. There's some things that's just because dogs were domesticated hundreds of years ago to be by man's side. You shouldn't have to be able. You shouldn't have to lure a dog into a position of a sit. Does it make it easier? Yeah. Like one guy I posted something. He says that power steering. Like having power steering when you do that. But what happened if you go to, I've asked this question before, Joe, for people that do that, when you go out to train and you leave that bag of treats on the counter, that bag of hot dogs on the counter. So when you get to the training field, you don't have, so you don't train that day because you don't have your training aids with you? That's weird. But the influx of it is, I think some people just saw it as a easy hustle and they treat it like that. You can tell by how they train and what they do. What bothers me with it's not an influx of it, but just some of the toys and treats and trinkets that people use and gimmicks they use. When you charge, some people gonna say I got a problem with, and I do. $3,500 for obedience training, $4,000 for a board and train, and you tell the people they got to go home with an e-collar on or treats, and they still have to use those things. You gotta be kidding me, man. I don't care who it is. Michael Ellis, Justin Rigney, John Mims, Bakari, Brandon Hecker, CT, whoever it is. You charge people $4 or $5 grand for obedience and you still have to go home with something to handicap what you supposedly taught this dog. What people, they don't teach the people how to handle their dog and what they taught the dog. These people pick their dogs up. They leave them for a 30-day board and train. They come pick the dog up. They get a 30-minute take-home session, and that's it. And you think those people got it down? No. Those aren't dog people. They just people that's got a dog. I've been saying that ever since I met you, Joe. Huh? They're not saying right. Yeah, they just dog. They just people that's got a dog. They're not dog people. We are dog people. Me, Brandon, Bakar, so much all the trainers. We're dog people through and through. We ain't just people that's got a dog. And when I train the dog, after the second or third session, I don't even handle the people dog anymore. I don't want to touch him because the dog can work for me and he looks good working for me, but he needs to work for them. It's where the perfection comes when he works for them, not for me. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, but some things just it's too much, man. It's too much for me. I don't know if I'm staying on topic or not, Joe, but this stuff, man, I get so frustrated with people and some of these people, man. It's frustrating. It's a headache. I saw one of Brandon things. He was arguing with that guy, C-Dot. Man, I'll give you this advice, Hecker. Don't even waste your breath no more. Don't even waste your breath no more, man, because what you're doing isn't going to make him eat. What he's doing isn't going to make you eat.
For sure.
And he's not going to convince you. You're not going to convince him. Do what you do, satisfy your customers. You can tell me the same thing, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to enjoy what you said, and I'm going to take it, and everything good. But, Carr, the same thing. When you get rolling up there in Canada, man, and me and CT and Joe and all of us, we've opened our playbook to you, man, to help you get going. When you got questions, you call and ask, and we here to help you as best we can. Keep your head down and take care of your business, take care of your clients. Yeah, all the other people, they just do whatever they want to do and then go ahead. But me being an elder in this thing, I feel like I can say that. I can say what I want to say and voice my opinion. Everybody else can do that. Now, they don't have to listen to my opinion. They don't have to pay attention on me. I'm crazy. You can call it what the hell you want to. But when that shit happens or it comes back and bites you in the ass, you can always say, if they have enough nerve to say, Mims, you told me that. Or Mims, you mentioned that. Because I've seen it. I've been in it so long. I've seen it at different dogs, different level of dogs, different breeds of dogs. There are some things that just ain't worth arguing with people about. Just keep your head down and just keep going. That's it.
Yeah, Bakar, he been doing that too, man. He been staying. It's funny too, because some of y'all in the comment section is just as famous as people on the screen. Everybody know who 416 is. Everybody know who's Bakari, Doug, Anthro, Angelo, everybody up in there. But Bakari, before I go on to the last topic I'm gonna cover, you doing all right, bro?
I'm doing good. I've been working. I've been focusing. I've been grinding. I've been learning. And just to touch a bit on the topics that was presented, as a young pup, y'all the big dogs over here. I would say, I think it's crazy that e-collars or tools, especially e-collars, could be readily available online, and especially low quality ones. And I feel that the influx of people of social media gave a platform of people and a false sense of like I have an audience and a way of saying things. It gave like an audience to people who are dog trainers, quotas, and I put them in quotas, and most people just get caught in the loop like the regular folks. And I feel that it's not helping the dog, it's not helping the humans. So that would be my take on it as a young pup. Not saying too much, But yeah, I've been doing good. I've been doing all right.
That's what's up.
Good. That's good. Though, let me get this in before I forget about it. What this e-collar thing, because it really bothers me. I went to a competition in Texas, a PSA competition. I think it was 16 or 17 dogs competing in this competition. Every dog that walked up to the staging area had an e-collar on. Out of the 16 or 17 dogs that competed, maybe 4 or 5 of them passed the scenarios. I mean, passed their exam. The rest of them blew commands. They couldn't think because, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the constant use of that e-collar, and I'm not a neuroscientist by any means, but I've seen a lot of dogs where I think it chemically and psychologically throws a dog off center point to a degree, because some of those dogs, they went out there and they didn't hear the man or the lady calling them off or doing things. They just blew clean through it. And some of these dogs were so aggressive. These people think the dogs have to be aggressive, and that e-collar amplifies it. And it makes these dogs very, very unstable. And I don't care what nobody, I've seen it too many times. I go to some of these trials and used to go to a lot more of them just to see those things. So when people, and I talk about it, I'm talking from experience, what I put my eyes on, not what nobody told me. But to me, that's ridiculous. I mean, that people depend on those things that heavy to where it messes the dogs up. I just had to get that out. I had to. One more thing too, Joe. I take one more second. I learned a lot from an e-collar, but with a guy, Touch of Dominance is the name of his page. He's in Alabama, I think Birmingham, I think it is. I've seen a lot of his videos, and I talked to him. He trains with an e-collar, and he hit me to some stuff with his. But his dog was actually one of the ones that passed the test. Super nice dog, really strong dog. And I didn't know this, even with all the experience I have and all of that, but I'm not an e-collar trainer. So some things I don't know. I just know about those e-collars, they'll mess a dog up. Different e-collars operate differently. I didn't know that. And he explained it to me. This guy's only been in training 10 years, he told me. I've been in it 40, damn near 50 years since I was a kid. And he says that one brand will lock a dog up. The other brand will just sting him enough to make him come off. If he locked up, he stays on the bite. The other one, and I was like, you got to be kidding. So he showed me a couple of things. And I said, well, I'll be damned. I learned that from that guy, and I'm here to say it. He's been training dogs 10 years. Does he have the e-collar down pat? Pretty much. I met Fred Hassan, the guy that owns the Sit Mean Sit. He explained some stuff to me, some misconceptions that I had about the e-collar. And I kind of looked at it a different view. But to wrap it all up in one, e-collar, not for me. I'll use it if I have to, keep it as a tool, but not for me. And that's not the art of training, man. That's skipping steps. And you can't skip steps in my business and the way I run it, and in dog training business, period. You can't skip steps. E-collar is for people that want to skip steps. And that's when you're running the problems.
Okay, y'all ready?
I got it out, Joe. I got it out.
You good? Hey, so y'all ready for the Get in Trouble segment? How many of y'all put a heart in the chat?
I live in the Get in Trouble.
We're going to get in the Get in Trouble segment. So I was getting a video that was sent to me. There was a lot of talk around it. We got 3 trainers here. And I want to get your opinions on it. It's a video Justin Rigney. I guess he posted it today or something. So
I already know what video you're talking about.
Everybody know what it is. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, let's go to share. And I think this is the one.
Where do we go from here? Where does this shit end? Is there a ceiling to it? Do we need to break a dog in half while they're still biting to prove that they're fucking hard and real? Like, is this reality-based training? Because there's a lot of bad situations on the street, a lot of bad crowd control situations on the street, and I've never seen any shit like this. And if you want this to be real, you want to make this fight fair, take off the fucking suits. Then let me see what's up. We need to do better as an industry, man. This isn't putting you on fucking blast. This isn't talking fucking shit. This is about the welfare of the animals, right? This is about the well-being of the animals. We can absolutely prepare dogs for pressure, multiple decoys, a lot of threat, a tremendous amount of environmental and physical pressure from the decoys. Applied pressure, right? You have to painful, putting the dogs in a painful situation with career-ending injuries. It doesn't need to be doing that. Not only physical, mental injuries, right? Yes, this one dog hangs in there pretty good. And as these days he faces up against the fence and thinks about fucking running, it kind of lose sight of it, but it looks pretty bad at one point in time. Then they eventually let the dog in. Now the folks at Paw Fed Canine are doing a damn good job. They're doing very similar work, but it's way more training, not just a fuck fest to see if they can break a dog. So the pit goes in, makes contact with the first decoy. The first decoy puts a tremendous amount of pressure on this dog, but the dog hangs in there. The pit is obviously a way harder and stronger dog than that first Mal. But when he goes in and puts the pressure on the dog makes the bite, it becomes a training exercise. And that's the big thing for me. The first drill looked like it was an absolute fuck fest for Instagram to see how far they can take this shit before the dog gets ruined. No go, in my opinion. So in this little cage scenario with the Paw Fed Canine crew, it becomes a training situation that's implied pressure. It's like WWE shit. Like they're acting like they're hitting the dog. There's very minimal contact. They make the fast strike, and at the last second, they pull away. So it does make contact, but there's not that risk of injury. And then it becomes a training exercise with control. So I'm all for it, man, if it's done the right way. We absolutely have to do better as an industry. This is excessive and over the top, in my opinion. I've been doing it.
Okay. All right. So,
Brandon, you want to take off on that one?
yeah, Brandon, you take. Hey, wait a minute. Who is it?
Yeah, you got a lot of background.
Luke.
Got a lot of feedback.
John, let's see if that's you. All right. Okay, it's John. Yeah. Okay. John, just pause for a second, and then we'll you on pause when you start. Sorry, Brandon. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, man. Shucks, where do I start? You know, when I look at these scenarios, the first thing that comes to my mind is there any time in real life that, you know, if this is supposed to be protection training, right? Is there any time in real life for a civilian, not for a police officer, right? Not for a military K9, right? Where I can see scenarios where you may send a dog into a situation like that, right? You may think it's one person in there, and it might turn out to be 3 or 4 people in there wailing on your dog. You know what I mean? I can kind of see that happening in those scenarios, right? But in a real life situation, based on, like I told you before, the law, right? I live in Illinois. We don't have a stand your ground law, right? Our duty is actually to retreat first if we can, right? If we can, the first option is retreat first. Now you have the castle doctrine, right? Where you are allowed to defend your territory, right? So I just don't know if we're talking about in my house. I just can't think of a real life situation where I would send my dog for 4 people to beat my dog up like that. I would just start shooting.
I can't think of where 4 crackheads gonna be together for the dog to have to decide which one of them he wants to bite.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what outside of testing the testicular fortitude of the dog, how is that applicable in real life? Because if we're being intellectually, honest and professionally responsible, that's the only reason why you would do something like that, is to test the courage of the dog. And this goes back to when I was talking about earlier. A lot of these people think like dogs. They don't think like humans, right? So here's my problem with scenarios like that. Do I appreciate the 1 out of 10 dogs that will have the testicular fortitude to stick in a fight like that? I appreciate it. But I also understand that is few and far in between where you're going to have a dog that has the genetic gift to do that, right? It's just rare. It's not like if 8 dogs did that, if 10 dogs did that, 8 dogs are going to fail. That's just the reality of it, right? So then we go into, okay, how much of that is training and how much of that is just the genetics of the dog? What are we looking at, right? Are we looking at the genetics of the dog, or are we looking at good training? Meaning, did whoever trained that dog, did they train that dog up to be able to handle that kind of pressure? Or did the dog come out the womb naturally saying, I want all the smoke? 9 times out of 10, it came out the womb like that, which is why you see in the sport world, all you see is Malinois and pit bulls. Why? Because typically speaking, and that's not to say that every Malinois and pit bull is that level, but there are going to be more Malinois and pit bulls to that level than your average everyday dog, right? Even when you talk about the Corsos and the Pressers and the other dogs that are in the protection world, it's not many dogs that have that level of just, I don't give a fuck about my life, I just want to bite, right? That's what it is. Their drive to bite is higher than their will to live. That is not nature. That has been bred in those dogs for hundreds of years. So they're actually mentally unstable dogs, which is why it requires so much work to cap those dogs to have some level of control. That's why they need e-collars and stuff like that. They can't train those dogs without those tools. They can't do it. They cannot put the control on those dogs that would need the control without those tools. They cannot do it, which is why it runs so rampant in the sport world. They can't do it. Right? So for me, this is why I talk so, I guess, passionate about what real protection looks like and what sport protection looks like, right? 80% of that stuff they do is a performance. It does not apply to the average everyday person at all.
It's ego training is what it is. I've been calling it for many years. It's ego training. Where would 3 or 4 people, when you bring a dog out that's showing strong like that, where 3 people are going to still stand there? That's the first problem with that scenario. The second problem is you got 3 or 4, 5 of those people standing there, and everybody's got something to defend themselves with. Why would you send your dog over there? Unless the dog just had to go, why would you? To some people, the dog is expendable. I'll send the dog, I'll go get my gun, and I'll come back and I'm lighting everything up but the Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. You know? But at the end of the day, the ego training is what's going to kill a lot of this industry, because I can guarantee you some lawmaker in the state of Georgia where that event was held is going to get hold of that video and said, look what's going on. And they're going to come up with some kind of legislation against that thing. Now, the issue that Justin Rigney, I have the problem with this. Both of those videos look similar, almost the same thing. Because the other people didn't hit the dog doesn't mean it didn't add the stress of the other dog, what the other dog was going through. Now, what does he have, him and Justin Rigney and Paul Fitt have in common? They both probably under 5'6" look like. So what he doing? What's going on with that deal? And then Paul Fitt, he's sitting there with an e-collar on the dog to make him do those things he's doing. If you're such a good trainer, dude, take the e-collar off. And it just kind of, I'm frustrated at this point with some of the stuff that goes on. I don't know the guy. I'm not looking for a problem with the guy. But dude, your training skills and everybody that use collars like that, and they come out and they say how good their dogs are, train them without it and take the e-collar off and then do those things. But though that scenario that happened with that, I can guarantee you legislation is coming behind that, where it's going to outlaw the training of bite dogs in the state of Georgia before it's over with. I can guarantee it's coming. Same thing like e-collars did in Texas, the state of Texas. And I said this a couple of weeks ago on a podcast. Some people don't know you cannot train a bite dog in the state of Texas. That's against the law. If somebody complains about it and pushes the issue, they're coming after you. They don't think it's true. Ask Dallas K9 about it. It happened to him. He had to go and get the license, the security license to train a protection dog for a dog to do bite work. They tried to say, oh, well, we're just training sport dogs that do bite work. That kind of word don't get around it no more. Those people know what's going on. And in the state of Georgia, it's coming because of ego training. That comes back, Joe, to these COVID trainers, or this new wave of trainers over the last 20, 25 years or so. I take it back. It might not be that long. Might be because some of those decoys, they're in their 20s, in their mid-20s. So in the last 15 years, 10 years maybe, it has gotten that bad where these guys do that sort of thing. One person, one decoy to challenge a dog to prove that the dog has enough, what it takes to be a hell of a protection dog and defend the family. Doesn't take 5 or 6. Without ego training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I think hey, will you pause your phone? I think that's it, y'all. We got to hit work up. I think that's a show. Let's end it on a high note like we do our training. I'm out. Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Cane Corsos, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs. Tune in to the most underrated yet influential dog podcast on social media. Your journey into the dog world starts here.